Thanksgiving, I'm gone every week. Not every week, but every weekend. So
yeah,
I can be very busy sometimes.
okay,
Yeah.
let me see. How do you pronounce your first name?
Olayinka.
Olayinka? Okay.
Yeah, but nobody ever calls me that actually. I go by Hamza.
But
Yeah, because it's just like...
it's just easier to pronounce.
It's a pain.
So, all right. Well, thanks for contacting us.
Sure. Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that we're talking about the same people here.
Yeah.
So you recognize those two?
I do. Well, I don't recognize him. I recognize him from, TV.
From the news. Okay.
But I recognize her 100%.
Okay.
100%.
And where did you say that you saw her?
So I was at Mount Fuji. It's
Okay.
called Mount Fuji Hibachi. It's up on, you go 25 north, and the exit is 144.
Okay.
And there's like a pseudo mall there.
Sure.
It's got JCPenney's, Macy's.
I think I know.
Perfume store.
I think I know what you're
It's
talking
got
about.
a restaurant called Who Hot,
Yes.
Mongolian Grill.
Yeah.
So it's right there.
Okay.
Is where Mount Fuji is. And that restaurant is very... I was there last night.
Oh, yeah.
It's very important to me because that's where I found out that my wife was having a baby boy.
Oh, really?
So
Congratulations.
they know me there as the guy who turned the table over, threw the chairs, because I was just overjoyed with excitement. Yeah. So, did you want me to go into...
Yeah, do you remember when this was?
And that's a question I've been racking in my brain. I would like to say we took our baby moon in April.
Okay.
And I can go through my credit card statements because I remember that I paid for the meal that night, me and my wife.
April, okay.
I want to say.
Okay.
I could be totally off the mark.
No, that's fine.
It could be March. It could be May.
Sure.
I don't think it's May though.
Okay. So probably
it's
March
April
or April?
or earlier. Yeah.
Okay. And that was this year?
It was definitely this year.
Okay. Do you remember what day of the week it was by chance?
It was a weekend. It was either
like Friday, Saturday,
Friday night.
Sunday?
I think it was a Friday or Saturday night.
Okay. All right. And so is this like a regular hibachi place where several people sit around the same table and the chef does his thing?
You see with complete strangers.
Okay.
And the chef does the whole magic thing.
Sure, yeah.
Flips
the shrimp and all that good stuff.
That's right. Yeah, that's what it was.
All right. Was she sitting at the table with you guys?
Yeah, we were sitting. So when you walk into Mount Fuji, it's no matter what direction you're coming from, the restaurant will face you this way.
Okay.
Doesn't matter where you're coming from. You got to walk in like this.
Straight in. Okay.
So when you walk in, to the left side is the bar.
Okay.
To the right side is the hibachi. We have about 10 different hibachi tables.
Okay.
We were seated at the same one where I found out my wife was having the boy.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's the one when you walk in, it's the very last one by the window on this side. It's the last table.
Okay.
By the window on this side, closest to the door.
Okay.
Me and my wife sat down first. Shannon and a friend sat next to us.
Okay. Do you remember what her friend looked like?
Yes. The friend, I don't remember her hair color. White female. Distinct eyes. I don't remember the color of her eyes. Maybe, I think what stood out was either they were super bright or a little bit big. But she had distinct eyes. She was wearing a black dress. The friend was wearing a black, it's a kind of lacy dress. Shannon was wearing blue jeans with a blouse, like a, I am horrible with colors. The color of that blouse would be something like this.
Okay, kind of a orange rust.
Orangey, but very light orange.
Okay.
Faded orange,
Okay.
if you will. They came in next. They sat next to us.
Did they introduce themselves?
No.
Okay.
No, they didn't. And then my wife is not the talking type. She's pretty snobbish. She doesn't talk to anyone. I'm the life of the party.
Talk to everybody.
Hey,
Okay.
what's going on? So I just turned to them and I said, well, hello there. And the friend was the first to respond. I said, hello. And I said, first time here? And they said, I think Shanann was sitting next to me. Her friend was on the other side. Or the friend was next to me and Shanann was on the other side. No, Shanann was next to me. And I said, you guys been here for the first time here? I said, no. They said, yes, this was the first time there. I said, it's not. They asked us if it was our first time. I said, no, it's not our first time. And somehow, somewhere, I don't know how it happened, but I found out that her friend was actually just visiting from North Carolina.
Okay.
Her friend was visiting. And I said, wait a minute now. I'm not originally from the U.S., but if I were to call a place home, for me, it's North Carolina. That's where I first came when I came to the U.S. That's where I lived for 8 years. My identity lies with I love the state. So I said to the girl, I said, that's my home state. And she said, no way. I said, yeah, I used to live in Charlotte. And she said, you gotta be kidding. That she used to live in a town called Gastonia. Gastonia, yeah. Gastonia is neighboring to Charlotte. Now,
is it like a suburb or is it a ways away?
no, it's separate.
Okay.
It's separate. Yeah, it's separate. A suburb would be like, actually, Charlotte is not like Denver, where you have Denver, and then you have Centennial, and then you have North Glen. No, Charlotte is Charlotte.
Okay.
And it's just huge.
Okay.
It's just big. It's bigger than Denver, actually. It's huge. And then you have neighboring towns, like Mint Hill or Gastonia. So when somebody says, I live in Charlotte, they could live an hour away from you, but they live in Charlotte.
Still in Charlotte.
Right.
Okay.
So Gastonia is about an hour away.
All right.
Or 45. Oh, an hour. So she told me about that. She says now that she lives in, it was either Morrisville or Lake Norman. One or the other. Either Morrisville or Lake Norman is where she says she lived now. And she proceeded to tell me about how her house got broken into when she lived in Gastonia. This is the friend.
Okay.
She had an alarm system. I said, well, I have an alarm system. If something sometimes I open the door inadvertently and the police are already calling me and saying, hey, I'm coming to your house. And she said, no. She said, by the time she got back to the house, in a matter of 2 minutes, the burglar done what he needed to do and taken off. So I said, oh, okay. So it was, and I said, well, you should sue somebody. I brought it up, And then she was like, what do you do for a living? And I said, well, I sue people. So we kind of laughed about it. Shanann hears that. She's in on this conversation the whole time. And she hears that and she's like, you're a lawyer? I said, yeah. I said, yeah. She said, what type of law do you do? I said, everything but family law. She said, why don't you do family law? And I said, because I hate family law. I said, I've been through a divorce before in family court, and it's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
She said, really? Well, tell me more about that. So I'm telling her about how I got divorced here. Ex-wife moved with 3 kids to Tennessee. How I fought for the kids and how I spent so much money fighting for the kids. In the end, she moved with the kids, and I see my girls, but it's a burden going back and forth. And then I believe it's Shanann who said to me that I want to say it was Shanann or her friend. I want to swear that it's Shanann. but I'm not 100% sure. It was Shanann. That she had gotten divorced before, is what she said. She said I said, were there any kids in that marriage? And she said, no, there were no kids. She said, I think the guy is an attorney too, her ex-husband. She said,
what?
Her ex-husband
Is what?
is an attorney.
Okay.
She said she brought him up. I said, what do you mean by that? She said, while she worked and busted her tail, he was going to school. And then I said, so what happened with the divorce? She said, well, the lawyer in the divorce, in her view, in Shannon's view, made out with so much money. And I said, well, that's kind of how it works. I mean, nobody wins. The lawyers are the ones that are going to get paid. And then she said, well, so tell me more about your divorce with the girls, involving the girls. And I said, well, that's it. She ended up moving to Tennessee, and she's asking me, she's like, what's the law in Colorado when a divorce happens? And I said, well, in Colorado we have something called it's called the Spammer Doctrine. And I told her about it. The Spammer Doctrine is, it says, a judge cannot tell you or the woman to stay in Colorado. The judge has no power to tell you where to live. What the judge can do, though, is say, you get to keep the kids, or you get to keep the kids. But the judge cannot say, you have to stay here. We're going to give you custody of the kids, but then you have to stay here. So she says, so let's, for example, if somebody gets divorced, they can move away with the kids. I said, well, that's exactly what happened to me. I said, do you have kids? She said, yes, 2 girls. I said, okay, how old are they? She told me their ages. I think she said it was, I don't remember, maybe one was close to 5, I don't remember. Or 2, I don't know, but it was 2 girls. And I said, are you thinking about a divorce? I mean, is that why you're asking me this? And her friend kind of smiled. Shanann smiles, but I did not get an answer to that question.
Have a good weekend.
And so I kind of let that kind of died away. We ate our food. We finished eating. We were the last, I remember this very well, we were the last set of customers. Oh, I forgot to tell you, sorry. Another party joined us at that table. A man and a woman. But the woman was older than the man, and when I asked what the relationship was, it was mother and son. Mother was visiting from Minnesota, where son used to live with mother. And son lives here now. Mother was visiting from Minnesota, and we're talking about how cold Minnesota can be.
Yeah.
So I remember this very distinctly. We were the last people to leave the restaurant. Matter of fact, the waiter kept coming back over and saying, you guys need boxes? Need boxes? Kind of like saying, hey,
beat it.
You gotta go, yeah. So,
do you remember what time you got to the restaurant?
I know they stopped sitting people at 8:45.
Okay.
We had to have gotten there about 8:30.
Okay.
They closed at 9:30, I think, on the weekends. And the guy was chasing us out at like 10 minutes to 10, like 9:50. They were still there.
Okay.
So when we got up, Shanann came to me again. My wife is talking to the mother and son from Minnesota and Shannon's friend. She comes to me again and says, is that really the law in Colorado, that it's possible that the court can give the child to the man? And I said, yeah. I said, what screwed me over was that I'm an attorney. Attorneys work long hours. Judges know that. A reasonable judge is not going to say, I'm going to take the kids from a woman that doesn't have a job, that's home full time, and give it to the guy, no matter how well-meaning that guy is. What the court can do, though, is, as they did for me, give me all the breaks, financial breaks, access to the kids, all that stuff. But ultimately, they'll give it to the woman. I said, but I have seen cases where the guy is not a lawyer. The guy works, 30 hours a week, and you tell the court, I'm trying to move the kids to North Carolina. The court could tell you, look, North Carolina is so far that it could destroy the relationship between father and children. You can go if you want. Kids go to daddy. They stay here. And so she's like, really? I said, yeah. I said, that's the law. It's called the Spammer Doctrine. I said, look it up. I said, but I've seen cases where because of that, the mother says, okay, I'm not moving away anymore. I'm going to stay. I'm not going to go. Because they see that the court is going to give the children to the dad. And then I said, I said, I don't do family law, but I know people who are really good family law attorneys. If you need one, just let me know, And she asked for my information. I didn't have a card at the time, so I just gave her my cell phone number. I said, if you ever need anything, give me a call. She also asked me, you had to do that first divorce that she had. She said, I don't remember. You had to do that first divorce though. Okay. And so when we went outside, and she said to me again, she said, why is divorce really a messy process? Is family law really a messy place? And I said, I always tell people, whatever you can do, I know now, my wife that I'm with now, unless I see a guy texting her on her phone or something, whatever the difference is between us, we're going to work it out. Yeah, because it's a messy process. And she said, really? I said, yeah. I said, you've been through it. She said, yes, but I went through it without children. I said, okay, yeah. Without children, no problem. It's just wash your hands clean, and as long as you're not a millionaire who's making a lot of money, your average Joe who makes regular money, just cut yourself loose and get out of it. But if you have kids, it's a messy I just said, okay. That's all I remember. I was watching, so I record certain programs, like Nightline. You're gonna laugh at this, but like Judge Mathis and the other crazy lady, Judge Judy. Right. So sometimes I would record them over 3 weeks. It's too much. I'm not gonna sit there and watch. I'll just delete. Or sometimes I'll press play, listen to what it's gonna cover for like 2 minutes. If I don't like it, I'll delete it. So one of those episodes, I didn't even know anything. I had heard that some guy had killed his wife in Colorado. Whatever. Happens every day. My wife's upstairs. I'm downstairs. I press play on the DVR. Up comes Shannon's picture. I don't even remember where I threw the remote. I'm screaming. Everyone upstairs, and I'm yelling at my wife. I'm like, turn the TV on. So she turns it on upstairs. I tell her, go to this episode of Nightline. She turns it on. I said, do you know that woman? And she was like, vaguely. I said, no, this is not vaguely. Come on, I need you to search your brain. And she's looking, and she's like, I don't know, I think somewhere. I was like, no, think. Hibachi. And she's like, maybe is this the woman that you were talking to at the Hibachi place? And I'm screaming, yes, that's her. My wife doesn't remember as much as I do. But I remember, I talked to her. I had told her at the time, when we were talking that day, I said, you can feel free to ask me anything you want to ask me personally, but you have to understand, it's not going to be privileged because your friend's here. If it's just me and you one-on-one, I will take that as attorney-client privilege. It's your privilege. You own it. I told her that. She said, really? I said, yeah. She said, well, I've talked to lawyers before, and I just talk. And I said, and they give my stuff away. And I said, no. You can grieve those guys. You can take them to the Supreme Court and have them punished for that. I said, it's your privilege. I said, but we can't. Anything I tell you here is open. And she said, well, this is one of my best friends ever, so you can feel free to say whatever you want to say. So that's why I'm able to talk about it. It's not privilege.
Sure.
But that's, to me, what I walked away from at that day was just, to me, personally, that woman really wanted to ask me some deeper questions about divorce. She couldn't do it where she was. I didn't think anything of it. I meet people all the time who say, "You're a lawyer, can I pick your brain?" Happens 3-4 times a week.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I get that a lot
But when
too.
I saw the news, I'm going, I don't know what happened. A woman talked to me about divorce, though.
Yeah.
And she seemed very curious about Colorado law on divorce that involves children.
What was her demeanor like during dinner? Was she happy? Were they laughing?
Very sweet lady. She told me this too. Oh yeah, she told me that she had some type of medical condition. That when she had one of the babies, I think first or second one, she had to be on bed rest for a long time because she had some kind of medical. Now I asked my wife about that. I said, "Do you remember what it was?" And my wife said that she doesn't remember, but to her, she thinks it was lupus. That's what my wife said. I don't remember what it was. I just know she told me about that medical condition. And she even told me what pills she was taking for it. And I remember telling my wife, like, yeah, it's a little bit TMI. I wouldn't tell anybody what I take. And my wife was like, most people talk. Most Americans talk.
Yeah.
They're very open. But I remember that. Yeah.
Did you see him get into a car?
No, and it is why we parked. So that mall, it's the lock of the drawer. You can park right in front of the restaurant, as we did last night and that same day, or you could park like 2 streets away.
North 40. Yeah.
And we parked in the front.
Okay.
And we got in the car. I was driving that day. Oh, I will have an exact date for you. And I'll tell you why. I was driving. So my wife drives a Range Rover. Her Range Rover went in for service at the Range Rover dealership in Flatirons, and they gave her a loaner,
Okay.
a Discovery loaner. That's what I was driving that day.
Okay.
So that
Okay, yeah, if you could dig that up.
that would give us
Send me an email, that'd be
exactly,
great. Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
I was driving a Discovery, Range Rover Discovery, a gray one, which was parked right in front of the restaurant. So I didn't see them get into a car.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
All right, and just to confirm, it's just those two, no kids, no husbands,
No kids, no
people
husbands,
with them,
no.
anything like that.
No, I remember, I don't know if I asked her where the kids were. And if she said they were either with the grandparents or with the husband. I don't remember her answer to that question. But I remember asking her that. Her friend, did her friend have kids? I don't think her friend had kids. And I remember Shanann saying, I asked if they were going to have more kids. And I think she said, I hope I'm not getting confused. Her friend may have said this or she may have said it. Somebody had said that the husband wanted a boy. And so she can't guarantee that they won't have another one. But I couldn't tell you if it was Shanann that said that or her friend said that. But I could swear her friend said she had no kids.
Okay.
So that had to have come from Shanann. But I remember because I told her, I said, well, if you went through such a pain for one of those pregnancies, or would you have another one? She said, yeah, I think he wants a boy though. So we might have that number 3. It's Shanann.
Okay.
I think it's Shanann. Yeah, but I don't remember which child put her on significant bed rest. If it was the first or second one. Couldn't tell you that. One of them did though. I remember that.
Any other medical conditions that she talked about that you remember?
No. I still don't remember the exact condition. My wife thinks it was lupus. I don't know. Lupus to me, all I know about lupus is, so I'm from Nigeria. There's a very popular singer, British singer called Seal. He was born and raised in Nigeria. He had lupus.
Oh, okay.
And
He's married to,
he was married to, maybe he's still
what's her
married to
face?
Heidi Klum.
Oh yeah, there you go.
I think they're divorced now. I think
you're right.
Yeah, but that's him.
Yeah, okay.
That guy is, that's how I heard about lupus.
Yes.
I'd never heard the word again until my wife told me about it. And I said to my wife, I remember saying to her, I said, well, lupus to me, with Seal, it scarred his face. And my wife said it doesn't have to scar your face. It has something to do with you.
Yeah, I think it's an autoimmune.
That's what she
type
said.
thing,
I
I don't know about it either.
Exactly. So I said, oh, okay. But she definitely told us about that condition. Yeah.
What about alcohol? Did she drink any alcohol? You remember?
God. I don't know. Don't know. I know the guy, the son with the woman from Minnesota. I know they drank. I know they ordered a drink. We didn't order a drink. Those guys they squirt sake in a plastic bottle.
Uh-huh.
I know I had it. Don't know if she had it though.
Okay.
Don't know. I know we didn't order drinks.
Okay. Yeah. No wine glass you remember on the table or anything like that.
One of them may have ordered a drink. One. A friend, her. I don't think I saw her drinking though. I don't know. Don't know. Yeah. I know I didn't drink that day. I typically don't drink when I go to that place. One, it's expensive.
Yeah.
And two, you can just get it from the sake that they spray in your mouth.
Yeah, that's right.
And you can actually ask for more. You can say, hey, try it, do it again.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, fill her up.
exactly. So I just remember walking away from that conversation going, that woman wanted to tell me more about it. She wanted to ask me more about divorce. She couldn't do it. For whatever reason. It was late.
Obviously, it was on her mind.
It was definitely, I as a litigator, I get half of my paycheck comes from being able to read witnesses. I could tell. She had those thoughts. Yeah.
Okay.
But she didn't explicitly say, I want to get a divorce from her husband. But she was asking me more questions than a normal person would ask just seated to an attorney at a restaurant.
More than just a conversation.
Yes, it was. I mean, we were separated at the end when we were standing up.
Yeah.
When the guy had taken, you put your credit cards into the thing that went to swipe them. Everybody was standing up. Me and her were separate. One-on-one. My wife, the couple from Minnesota, and her friend were talking. Her and I were talking. And then when we went outside, the mother and son from Minnesota had left. It was me, my wife, her, and her friend. And my wife was obviously, again, I think she was getting impatient. It was still me and Shanann talking. Yeah. Her friend didn't really say much, other than telling me about how the guy broke into her house in North Carolina. Yeah. I remember that. So when I saw that picture, then I started reading up on the story, and I'm going, all right, I could stay silent. Nobody would know what I know. I could let you guys know.
Yeah.
What's it going to hurt?
Yeah.
Let me just put it out there.
Out,
and whatever you want to do with it. Whatever help you guys need from me, I'll be provided.
So, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
See if we could track down this other friend in North Carolina.
Yep, I remember that very well. I mean, yeah. I mean, we were talking about what I call my home state.
Sure.
Yeah. I worked there. We talked about when I drove for the county. I drove a truck for the county for 7 years. And
What did you?
Yeah, we talked about the roads. We talked about, yeah.
How'd you go from truck driver to attorney?
I went to school while I was doing the truck driving. I'd do that in the mornings, and then in the evenings I'd go to school at University of North Carolina. So I graduated in 2007, and then went to law school in St. Louis, at Washington University in St. Louis. The lucky thing for me was when I was going to undergrad, the county, so long as you had a C or better, and you turn in your transcript, they'll pay your tuition. Yeah. So
that's been a nice benefit.
Exactly. So that paved the way through college.
Yeah.
Law school was a combination of scholarship and loans, and then that's pretty much it. Yeah.
How'd you end up out here?
I worked in New York for 1 year with a law firm out there, and then I heard from the grapevine that they're gonna gut my class. There were 75 of us they hired in 1 month.
Wow.
And they're like, hey, they thought the money was gonna be there. They're gonna cut this class in half. and you might be on the chopping block. So I started looking for jobs anywhere I could find it. I mean, I didn't care where it was. Alaska, didn't care. And a firm in Denver here called me. Within the time that guy gave me that information, and when I started working in Denver, 3 weeks.
Wow, that's fast.
I was out. Because he said, I think you're going to be on the chopping block. So I took off.
How long have you been here?
Since 2011. Since November 2011. Yeah. So I bounced around a bit, but I've been here now. So I finally opened up my own firm around February.
Noticing that.
Yeah, I opened it in February. And what I do now is I have my own practice, and then when a case comes in, I split time with my practice and firm. So like one of the firms I'm working for today is up here on the 4th floor.
Oh, okay.
It's called Shanann Rzucek. Next week I might be in Centennial. That's the way I keep the money coming in.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I got it.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, anything else about that interaction that you can think of? Anything we haven't covered that you think we should talk about?
She didn't talk about him.
Did she ever mention her husband's name at all that you remember?
No. Didn't mention him at all. I just know the divorce thing. I mean, she was so interested in that topic. She was also interested in. She actually asked me. She had said. She has said, your ex-wife didn't bring you up too, did she? I said, no, I brought her up because I think she was still a little bit aggrieved about that first guy, because she said, I worked, and he went to school. He worked his way up based on my efforts, and I said, but some people are unappreciative when. Now you've got 2 beautiful kids, and don't worry about it. And she said, "Yeah, but it crosses my mind." And she's pissed. She was pissed that attorney got a lot of money out of the divorce. And my takeaway was, she was aggrieved on 2 fronts: the guy doing what he did, and then she didn't think she got a fair share of the split. The attorney got most of the money, and I said, "That's divorce for you. Nobody wins."
Yeah, that's part of the game,
Yeah, nobody wins. I mean, my ex, she's got the kids, but every day she calls me asking me for money because she's like, I don't have any money and I'm stuck with them. And I'm like, well, you don't have to be stuck with them. Send them back to them.
Yeah, right.
But she's pissed. Everybody's pissed. I'm pissed they're so far away. She's pissed that she doesn't have enough money. She thinks I'm living the good life in Denver and don't care about the kids. And it's divorce court. Everybody wins. Yeah.
That sounds like you're gonna have another one. So.
Yeah. I'm good now. So I told her. I told my wife. I said, we're not splitting. I mean, if it's infidelity now, that's unforgivable. I'm not doing that. But other than that, we're gonna work this thing out. Yeah. But no, I don't. If I think of something, I'll let you know. It's funny how I had heard about that murder, or alleged murder, however you want to put it, didn't pay any attention to it. I mean, it was like he got into one here, one out the other. Or some guy killed his wife in Colorado. Okay, fine, whatever. I didn't pay any attention. It was that. We have the TV downstairs is like 65 inches. I mean, it's huge. And her face.
Yeah, it's kind of just right there.
Just looking at me. I was screaming. My friend said, "You don't wake the baby up." I'm like, I don't care. You're not going to believe this. Yeah. It was jolting. Yeah. It really was. And it's sad. I walked away from that thinking that, but very lovely woman. Very jovial. She was nice. She was funny. We were laughing. The smile never left her face. I mean, she was just smiling. Nice woman.
Did you notice if she was wearing like a patch or anything on her arm?
It was definitely a short sleeve. She was absolutely wearing a short sleeve. collar patch.
So,
It may have been one, but I
See,
don't
like-
recall.
see how she's wearing one in that picture?
I think I saw that. I think I saw something like that. I think I did. Oh, you know what's funny too about this picture? That's exactly what's funny about it. You see this top? You see how it's cut in the shoulder?
Yeah.
That's exactly how the one she was wearing that night was.
Oh, that's Steve's style?
That's right.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's
Okay.
exactly how it was. Different color though, not
Yeah.
black.
Okay.
It wasn't black.
Okay.
It was not black. I may have seen that, but I can't say with 100% certainty. Yeah. Yeah. But the style of the blouse is exactly the same. And the blouse had at the end, I don't know how to describe this. You know how at the bottom of women's blouses it will be like elastic?
Oh, yeah.
That will make it like, so,
Almost like a sack type.
you know, make it like come up like, like
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's exactly what
Okay,
that looked
yeah.
like. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Her friend was definitely there visiting from North Carolina. 100%.
All right. Well,
I think
take,
if you find that, if you can find that friend, have you guys ever been? I mean, if you can find that friend, it could really help.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll work on finding out who that is.
Yeah, she was visiting from North Carolina.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure we could probably nail that one down.
Yeah. She was here with her, and we left them. We went straight to the car, which was across from the restaurant. Actually, not in front of the restaurant. I don't remember which direction they went. I think they went. So, as I said, the restaurant, no matter where you're coming from, it's facing you like this.
Yeah.
We went to the car right here. I want to say they went that way.
Yeah. Remember if she took any phone calls or texts during
No,
dinner?
no, they didn't take any. No, it was nobody took any calls. No, we were also engrossed. I mean, it was a good group. You don't get that often.
No, you don't.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get like, you either get people who just don't talk that much, or as a party of two, you get a party of like 10 who came together.
Yeah.
So you're screwed because
Yeah.
they've got their thing going
Yeah.
on. So you're just sitting there. That night was a rare one where it was two, and we all sort of were codependent on one another for a good conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything about the conversation that you remember that stood out?
No, I just know the couple from Minnesota told me about how the wind blows in Minnesota so strong it moves the buildings
yeah.
there.
Right.
I remember that. I remember the friend talking about somebody breaking into her house, and how they now live in Lake Norman or Morrisville in Charlotte. I remember Gastonia, and then I remember the divorce conversation. Yeah.
All right.
So.
Well, thanks for taking the time to come
Sure,
down and talk to me
sure.
about this. Appreciate it.
Sure, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I wanted to be of any help I can be for you guys.
Yeah, no, I appreciate
So
that a
I'll
lot.
get the date for that when we took that Range Rover
Okay.
and got the loaner, because that's what I was driving that day. I'll get the dates and I'll email it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you
you.
so much. Nice to meet you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.